Hey, how you doing? Alex here. Thanks for joining me. And in today's video, we're going to be covering 4 interesting and important topics in the college recruiting landscape, being a college athlete. And you'll see the first one here. College athletes are making a lot of money. Well, that's the first thing that we're going to cover. Very interesting. It is very new, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to get into academic scholarships. We're also going to get into athletic scholarships and roster information for Division I, Division II, Division III, and then lastly, we're going to talk about what positions get the most money from an athletic scholarship standpoint. So a lot of good topics today. If you have any questions, please comment down below. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Alex Swinson. I'm a former Division I college baseball scout and recruiter, and now what I do is help talented high school baseball athletes go through this college recruiting process, help them find the best college fit for them, help them find schools that are actually recruiting their position. That's really important. So hopefully you get something out of this video, and if you do, please smash that thumbs up, that like button right down here, and subscribe to my channel. I put out a weekly video on recruiting and just how to get better on and off the field. So let's dive right into it here. So the first one we're going to be covering is how these athletes are getting paid. A couple actually ways they're getting paid. The first one is name, image, and likeness. You might have heard this before or on TV or in an articles. NIL. So they're basically contracts to these student athletes from companies or businesses that are paying them based off their name, image, and likeness. Okay, and this is for all sports, by the way. I'm not just talking about baseball. For the name, image, and likeness, all sports. And I mean, some of these student athletes in college are getting paid millions of dollars. It is wild. Now, for college baseball in particular, I don't really have any numbers, but I know that there's some athletes that are getting paid I think in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And of course, this is not everybody, but it's a lot of money, And you can also, there's another thing that as a student athlete, which I totally agree with this, is a student athlete can create their own business and make money giving lessons to 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. They could not do that in the past. They couldn't basically make any money from their own brand or creating their own business. And now, separately, colleges can pay their athletes up to about $6,000. Now, most of the Power 5 schools are doing this. Not every school is doing this. So there's a lot of money in the college athletics, as you probably can imagine, just with all the TV, college football, and things like that. But there's a lot of money there, and I like to say we are in the wild, wild west of this with the name, image, and likeness and how colleges are paying athletes now. It's getting really, really interesting and will get really interesting as we go into this. So I wanted to bring this up because you might have seen this or you might not have even known about this, but this is what's going on in this landscape. And most of this is happening at the Division I level where most of the money is, honestly, okay? So let's dive into the next thing, academic scholarships. So how do these work? So academic scholarships can help a lot to a program and is very attractive to a college coach. Why? Because there's only so many athletic scholarships a program can give, and most are not fully funded. Some of this might not make sense to you, but I'm going to get into this in the athletic scholarships. But if I'm a college recruiter, I used to be one, and I'd watch a player, and he's very, very academically strong, and he's a good athlete, and I want him to be a part of my program, I also want to help him get an academic scholarship, which the school gives to them. It's not really the baseball program, but the baseball program, the school kind of work hand in hand with that, and that can help. So if I give this player an academic scholarship, they can save room on an athletic scholarship because I might not have a lot depending on the programs. And typically you can get a lot more academic money. And guys, money is money. A scholarship is a scholarship, whether it's academic or whether it's athletic. It is super helpful, especially with how expensive colleges are this day. So it's really good. Make sure you're staying focused in the classroom. This is a huge separator in the recruiting landscape. So if I have player A and player B and they're very similar, by the way, there's somebody similar out there that is similar to your athletic ability. And if a college coach is going to pick one, he's going to pick the guy with the higher GPA or the better test score. Okay, so make sure you stay focused in the classroom. And then some of these schools can stack. So they could give you an athletic scholarship, and then they could also give you an academic scholarship, which is, again, super, super helpful. Also, preferred walk-ons can get academic money. You usually see that a lot with preferred walk-ons, and I'm going to get into that here right now. What does preferred walk-ons basically mean and all of this stuff? So let's get into it. Athletic scholarships and roster information at Division I level. So let's get into the roster first. So 35 active players is the max amount you can have on your roster in the spring, with some small exceptions with COVID. So if a freshman is still on the team that went through COVID in 2020, they can be part of the roster and basically work up to 40. But most schools are working down to 35, and by the time you're probably in college, we'll be at 35. In the fall, you can have as much as you want, meaning you can have as many athletes as you want. And you got to be careful here with over-recruitment and things like that, and pay attention to schools with over-recruitment, because you don't want it to turn into a tryout. That's the last thing that you want. But most schools, like mid-majors, smaller Division I's, do not do that. And then 8 players on the active 35 cannot be on athletic scholarship. So 27 players can be on an athletic scholarship, divvied out of 11.7 athletic scholarships. So until things change, 11.7 is the max in athletic scholarships a school can provide among 27 players. So you have 11.7 scholarships that you can divvy out amongst 27 guys. The other 8 guys, those are usually either preferred walk-ons or walk-ons that cannot be on athletic scholarships. Okay, so the thing is, 11.7 is it's kind of a crazy number. Nobody really knows exactly why it's 11.7, but not all schools are fully funded. You are fully funded if you have 11.7. Most are not fully funded. Most do not have 11.7. Some have 10. Some have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Some schools do not have any athletic money, like the Ivy Leagues and the Patriot Leagues. They do not have any athletic money, so just keep that in mind as we go through this, okay? And any amount of athletic money to a player can be given. There used to be this old rule that it had to be 25%. Now it can be any percent. So the old rule in the old times, I could go to a player, I'm going to give him athletic scholarship. It had to be 25%. Now it can be 5%. It can be 10%. It can be 20%. It can be 25%, and so on, as you go. That's Division I. Division II, there's 39 active players, and this is the max amount a team can carry. Max amount of athletic scholarship a school can give is 9. Similar to D1, most are not fully funded, so you might not see 9 full scholarships. It might be 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. Some might not have any. Check with schools, but most give academic scholarships as well. Division III, there's no limit on the roster, but they are typically between 35 and 40. This is something that you want to pay attention to when you're looking to a school, specifically Division III. Some Division III schools are having JV schools, but you want to be aware of rosters, specifically in the fall, that are bringing in 50 to 60 players. That turns into a tryout. But also be aware of JV. JV could be a good option for Division IIIs, because you can work your way up to the varsity level at the Division III and have an academic scholarship. A lot of academic scholarships are given at the Division III level, and there is no athletic scholarships at the Division III level. So FYI there, okay? Let's get to the next one and last one here. What positions get the most money? Most money goes up the middle. So in the recruiting landscape and the recruiting world as college coaches, they say recruiting is the bloodline to your program. And for a strong team, you have to be strong up the middle. What does that mean? Catchers, pitchers, middle infielders, and center fielders. You need to be strong there. So where does the most money go to from an athletic scholarship standpoint? Is those positions. If you go from a position standpoint, pitchers get the most money because there's the most of them. There's usually around 15, 17, 18 pitchers on, so you're going to have the most money compiled in there. And then catchers, middle infielders, and center fielders, not in that particular order. It'd probably be pitchers, middle infielders, catchers, then center fielders. So, and the center fielders is just not that many. Now, that does not mean that a first baseman or a third baseman or a right fielder or a left fielder does not get any money. It's just most of the money goes up the middle in this recruiting world. So just FYI on that. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'll be happy to answer those, or if there's any topics that you want me to cover, please leave that down below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.